felt the business end of the stick, but she's talking about it sort of from the other end. I want to go to Willie real quick, but let me preface this. When I was talking about Rand Paul's comments yesterday in an interview, he was saying that because John McCain and others were advocating giving arms to the rebels in Syria way back when we knew who the good guys and the bad guys were, basically at the start of this, that they are the cause of all the turmoil in the Middle East.
The hawks.
You want to talk about some blather. But let's see what Willie has to think about it. Willie, thank you for calling.
Well, I appreciate y'all taking my phone call. I like Rand Paul, and I feel his frustration. And I guess my point is we haven't won a war since World War II, if y'all agree with that.
Well, yes, we could have. We had Vietnam won.
South Koreans seem very happy.
Can I interrupt?
Yeah, go ahead.
I'm just saying we haven't won a war since World War II.
Well, I would say we won the war in Iraq.
Yeah.
We certainly won the war in Iraq, and it appears as though we've won...
No. But, and Chris, I appreciate your point of view.
Okay, go ahead.
Rand Paul is trying to say, and I'm not being on the edge, I'm just saying Rand Paul realizes that when you have rules of engagement that should have won that war within about 2 years, he's saying we shouldn't be going out unless we win outright.
Well, now, on that point, I would agree. But it's a far stretch to get from there to blame the chaos in the Middle East right now on Republicans. This is why I say he's trying to distinguish himself from the rest of the field, I believe.
No,
and I think he's trying a little too hard.
Chris, beyond politics.
Well, it is beyond politics, but he made it political, don't you see? He took a good argument, which is the one that you're making, and he made it into a political attack on his Republican colleagues. And I don't think that he needed to do that.
I like that because as a base voter of conservatism, it's beyond. A lot of people believe that if we're going to go out and win a war, we could have won the Iraq War and stabilize that place a long time ago.
Well, that's true.
All the politics.
That's true, but those rules of engagement go back to Vietnam, if not before then, where you had the politicians in Washington who were looking over the shoulder of the military.
I'm just saying right now.
Yeah, I understand what you're saying, and
I was the military.
I know.
Engagement right now, even when they're dropping bombs right now, the rules of engagement are tearing. I mean, we're not going to win that war.
Well, as a matter of fact, you're absolutely right, and I'm totally in agreement with you. As a matter of fact, I have a story here today where this was reported on Fox News, and it is where a pilot was interviewed, an F-18 Navy pilot, said that he's frustrated because he goes over there, he flies these sorties, he gets the enemy in his sights, but he has to get he has to get approval before he can pull the trigger, and then he ends up coming back. So, ultimately I agree with you. All I'm saying is Rand Paul could have made that argument and focused the attention, at least spread a little more evenly amongst Obama and what he has done.
And I do understand politics, and Rand Paul, I like him because he's bottom line.
Well, he is that, but what I'm trying to say here is he needs to be careful that he doesn't cross over into appearing to say these things just to get himself some attention. And I believe that was borderline what he's doing here. So the problem that we have with the field of 12 or more candidates is they're going to feel more and more pressured to get out there and do or say something that will distinguish them from the rest of the field, and in the process could be hurting the rest of the field.
But I understand. But I think there's a base out there that want to they want to vote for a certain candidate, and I'm one of many at my work job. And we love what Rand Paul said about that. We really believe it. You get it done, you don't get it done, and I think it's a Republican.
Well, I ask a quick question here, because this means a lot too, and you have to tell me this.
All right, make it fast.
Is there anything in Rand Paul's background, in his training or whatever, that he has more military knowledge that he would know that we could have done this in 2 years more than the other men that have been involved? Because I don't go along with
right
it.
There. Stop it right there, because the military, I know from talking with Danny McKnight, if we'd have went in there full bore and taken care of business like we should have, it would have been done in a lot less in 2 years.
Without a huge amount of collateral damage,
Well,
which was
that's
trying
the whole
to...
problem.
Can I make one
That's the whole problem. There are no, let's just say, there are no innocent people in a war zone. You have to get that notion out of your mind. Collateral damage can't be the overriding factor of what we're doing.
We didn't avoid killing the French in Europe.
All right, Willie, I got to let you make one last statement, then I got to go to another caller. Okay.
In the last issue of the Limbaugh letter, Kirsten Powers was interviewed by Rush Limbaugh.
That's right.
And she came out 3 or 4 days ago, and they asked her a question about, in the main name Rush Limbaugh came out. And she goes, I never listened to him.
Well, that's
she threw him under the bus.
Well, we're going to have her on the show, and hopefully she won't throw. Hopefully she won't.
That question.
Hopefully she won't throw us under the bus. But yeah, I'll see if we can bring it up with her. But thanks, Willie. You know, at the bottom level, at the bottom line, we agree. Okay. All right. Let's go now to Mike. Mike, thank you for holding. You're going to have to make it fast because I'm running out of time.
Okay, yeah, sure. Last night on the news, they were saying we're going to attack ISIS on 101st and Muhammad Street and at 237. And if we had press in World War II like we do now, it'd still be going on. And just one other thing, they made millions of boats, planes, weaponry in 4.5 years, and Obama couldn't even get one website working.
Very good points.
For World War II. So we can do whatever we have the mindset to do.
Yeah, it all does come down to will. What are we willing to do? And in that sense, what Rand Paul is cautioning is, and Willie's right about this, and thank you, Mike, for the call. Excellent points. Is that, you know, if we're not willing to basically do this right, in other words, if we're going to fight a war, fight it all out to win it, and win it in a short period of time, then we don't need to be messing around. And in that sense, he's absolutely correct. But to go from that and blame the turmoil in the Middle East on Republicans, I believe, is a leap of faith that was not warranted. And all I can say is caution Rand Paul, because he'll have his supporters, but he'll lose others in the process. Please don't go away. We hope we won't lose you. We'll be right back with Kirsten Powers.
AM 660, The Answer.
With SRN